Hey, what up, peeps? Welcome back to the flip side again. I should say, welcome back to the flip mobile, because I'm back in the flip mobile. Driving across town before I have to go to work. So, I came up with a solution to get all of these losers, out of their little neckbeard cave and into the workforce to try to contribute to society, And you know what it is? Authoritarianism. What? Yep, I know, and you're not gonna like it either. I think, to get all of these unproductive leeches from society into the workforce to try to generate some economic, I should say, prosperity. Someone in the middle of the day is gonna come in to your front porch, knock on the door, knock knock. You're gonna open up. Hey, it's a government agent, and we found you a few options to work. You have until this date to, apply. And if you don't, well, you're probably going to pay a fine, or you're going to face up to some jail time and stuff like that. And how is this going to work? Well, we're going to have a data set of people that are just leeching, just existing, right? And they're going to contact, just the businesses around town if you're an agent working in that area. Let's say, your local grocery chain or some kind of warehouse or something like that. Something where it's a beginner level job, right? Like someone like me when I was a teenager. I started working at a grocery chain. Entry level stuff, I was looking for a job, 16, 17, got a job. Oh, I'm in the wrong fucking lane. Whoops. Alright. Anyway. Alright, I'm back in the right lane. Okay. So, yeah, that's how it's gonna work. And then, the businesses are gonna be contacted by government agents. And they're gonna say, if you have any openings, and they're gonna find out if you have openings. And if you have openings, well, we have some candidates for you. Or not candidates, we have chosen little people for you that, we want you to have them start working. And they're like, okay, send them in. So a government agent knocks on the door. Knock knock. Hey, you're a worthless leech of society. You don't have any excuse as to why you need to stay home, right? You're not looking after anyone. You don't have any psychological or physical issues. You don't have, any sort of issue that's causing you not to contribute to society, right? You're not a criminal. And we can talk about criminals as well, but so you don't have any kind of issues. We've chosen a few options for you that you can start working, and you have until this date to, put in that you've chosen this job, and then we'll get you started. Oh, you don't want to? Ah, that sucks. Well, I guess you're just gonna have to face some kind of legal punishment. You can work now as a free person, or you can face time and still have to work, and it'll probably be a shittier job, probably building shit. And I think more people will get more experience, and more of our generation and Generation Alpha and Beta, they'll have more experience and more success. And okay, let's say you're in college, right? Okay, I'm in college full time. I don't really know if I have enough time to be working. It doesn't have to be full time. You don't have to be working full time. You could work part time, right? There's some leeway. So, I mean, whoa, dude, come on. Okay. Alright. This guy was not merging into the lane fast enough. Anyway, almost cut me off. So anyway, there's some leeway. Like, my situation is basically that. I'm working part-time. I'm in college. Works for me. You learn time management, And it's like, okay, I don't have a car. Oh, well, you'll be transported there. You just have to take the bus or, public transport. We'll give you a card until you can afford to have a car, or until you decide to buy a car. That's more lenient. Until you decide that you can buy a car, here's a little card that you can show public transportation to get your free ride to work. That's cool, right? And then it's like, well, how is this gonna be funded? Well, taxpayer money, unfortunately, right? Because we don't live in that kind of society yet where governments aren't leeching off of our hard-earned money. So that's the way it is. It's like, I can't really give a libertarian option because I'm not a libertarian, and stuff like that. If any of you, wow, voice crack. If any of you have a solution as to how we can, not have taxpayer funded thing, then give it to me. I think I can think of one. How about like private, like take an Uber. There you go. You can take an Uber, and I know how you're gonna pay for an Uber. Okay. Well, whatever. Let's move away from the tax thing and just let's get back on to the main topic. Okay, so how are criminals going to be doing this? How are criminals going to stop wasting away and start, working? And I know we already have a system for that. You know, they bring out criminals to do public service, you know, like cleaning up garbage and things of that things of that ilk, I should say. That's fun. That's a fun thing to say. Ilk. Your ilk. Things of that ilk. What does ilk even mean? Ilk. Anyway. Well, we can put these criminals into these jobs. And if you decide to act like a criminal, then your sentence is just going to be added on top of your original sentence. Okay, let's say, gas station employee. All right. So, hey, we decided that you get to stop wasting away in prison, and you're going to contribute to society. And guess what? If these people contribute to society, then maybe you'll have a lesser sentence. I know there's already something of that ilk that exists, but this could serve as a way to pay back to the world what you have taken. What did you take? Peace and civilization. You took a piece of civilization away by not acting civilized. So guess what? You're going to bring productivity back, since you decided to act like an unproductive clown. So, and if you decide to act like a criminal, well, I guess that's just more jail time. Same thing with the regular people. You know, if you are of adult age, and it's like, oh man, I gotta wait behind this person now. Oh shit, never mind. Alright. Never mind. If you decide not to comply, you will comply. Big brother wants you to comply. If you are not gonna comply with your given job, that your given option of jobs that you picked out, then I guess you can go to jail. If you want to lash out and protest and you know, break stuff, and then you go to jail. Well, isn't that just going to create more criminals and put them in jail? Well, that's a problem that you can sort out with benefits. Well, what do you... And incentives. Well, why would somebody want to be forced to work? Well, number one, I mean, why would you not want to work, right? Like, why would you wake up and just be worthless? Right? Like a regular person, number one, gets a job. Their reasoning, you can use that. And some other incentives might be, well, man, I don't know. If someone in the comments can think of some incentives, I haven't really thought this out that much. You know, this is just a fun little discussion video. These are to be listened to while you're driving, you know. So don't sit down. I mean, you can sit down at your couch. Okay, I'm wondering what this guy was doing. Anyway, you can sit down in front of your couch and turn a YouTube on and click on this video and laugh and whatever you're gonna do, troll. But if you guys can think of any more incentives as to what it should be, then put it in the comments section, because I really can't think of any. This is a measure, you know. It's like a corrective measure. It's not like, oh, well, if we put these guys to work, what are they going to get back? No, it's you are not seeking out employment. You're just leeching away. This is a corrective measure. It's more of a corrective measure than it's like a promotional thing, you know, like, oh, if you get a job, we'll give you this. Because jobs and corporations already give you benefits, right? Dental, health, stuff like that. So that's what you get. That's what you get. You get the things that are already existing. Because you're already freeloading, right? So that's what we can do with the immigrants. Right? And you're not supposed to work these jobs forever. Like, if you are pursuing a career, like if you want to be a doctor, right? And you're in college to be a doctor, and you don't have a job, well, this is just like, it's like if you were already living life in college and you wanted to get a job, or if you just didn't have a job, hey, knock knock, here's some jobs we found for you, come back to us in a week or else. So yeah, the same kind of life situations can be applied to this hypothetical kid that's just not doing anything, you know, stuff like that. Ooh. What else can I say? Basically, to sum it up, if you're just wasting away, you're not in college, you're not doing anything, you're just some punk just leeching off of government benefits, then hey, you've been leeching off of us. How about you contribute finally to society? Knock knock. We found some jobs for you. Get back to us at this amount of time. You can work 1, you can work 2, you can work them all if you want. But get back to us at this time. Or, you know, punishment. Jail time. And then you'll be working worse jobs you probably don't want to do. You're not going to get a choice. Well, you don't already have a choice. I know. Well, if you're not, why would we give you a choice if you're choosing already not to be a productive member of society? You chose wrong, buddy. So guess what? We're gonna choose. We're gonna give you some choices. We're gonna give you some good choices. So there you go. Well, that's just more government control over people. Some people need to be controlled. Some people are just stupid. Well, who are you to say? Well, when you're viewing society and you're seeing these punk kids, you know, just leeching off of government benefits and, you know, just wanting to be a punk, you know? Oh, just live off the system, bro. Just rig the system. It's all there. Just tell them you're depressed and you have anxiety and you feel SUI. Oh, SUICIDAL. Suicide. You know? Then, you know, oh, okay, here's a paycheck every month. Then, yeah, when you're not actually that, then I have no empathy. I have no empathy for people that are purposefully trying to just be leeches. right? Why is my hard work getting sucked dry by the government to give to these people? Why? More and more people are going to be born, and more people are going to do this shit. And I don't see the country being able to pay these people. If more and more people are just being born, leeching off the system because they can, along with the immigrants, I'm not villainizing immigrants. I'm just saying it exists. People just coming in and leeching off the system, along with people that are already in this country that should not be doing that. Then eventually it's not going to happen anymore. Something has to happen. And something has to change. And I think that if we stimulated, I think we just could be more affordable if people had more jobs. If people were given more jobs, right? And didn't have to leech, then we would be a wealthier country. Okay? Listen, I'm not an expert in economics. I'm learning about economics, but eventually I want to be proficient in economics. But I don't know. This is a desperate measure, right? This is just a desperate measure. And so I think that if you are struggling to find a job, you can be, I don't know, maybe you can be given a job by these government agents. It doesn't always have to be, oh, you're worthless, here's a job so you can be worth something. You don't have to be a leech. If you're struggling, here you go. Like, if you're already trying to find a job, right? And I know there's programs out there that are trying to do this, but I mean, if the government had something to enforce this kind of stuff, then it would be enforced. So my thought process is, if you're struggling to find a job, then how about you can just be given one? You don't have to like it. You're probably gonna like it because beggars can't be choosers, right? And so I'm thinking now, what are we gonna do about homeless people? Well, we can you can be given a job, right? Well, what's known about these homeless people? Before they're given jobs, let's do background checks. Are they insane? What kind of issues do they have that are preventing them from getting a job, other than being addicted to drugs and making poor choices and just being homeless, And that's the problem. People aren't just giving, you can't just be a homeless guy and walk into some sort of beginner entry level place and just be like, can I get a job? They're not going to give you a job if you're homeless. Isn't it true already that if you don't have a home address, if you don't have a bank account, then you can't get a job? Something along those lines. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. This is what the comments section is for, so that you can correct me if I'm wrong and give me some more ideas and stuff like that. Which probably isn't going to happen because nobody watches my videos, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. Anyway, that's another solution. We can solve the homelessness crisis with this, I would call it a social program. With a social program. And this is something that we can put our taxes towards. This is something beneficial to society that we can put our taxes towards, instead of government agents going across the globe teaching kids about homosexuality and LGBTQ ideologies. So this is something, it's something beneficial to society that our tax dollars can go towards. And it's gonna be rewarding. It'll be rewarding, right? People will have more jobs. More jobs is better for the economy, right? Eventually, and as you build your resume, right? You know, you'll have more job opportunities and stuff like that. Along with, if you're already in college, right? So on top of you being in college, having a degree, your resume is already built, you know, like, and maybe if this social program is successful enough, then we can help people get higher jobs. Like, okay, so you worked here and you've done this job for this amount of time. It qualifies you for, you know, this higher up job, you know. But maybe that should be left up to the worker and not the government, because, you know, it's up to us to progress, you know. It's up to us. Well, then why are you saying the government should come in and force you to get a job? Well, because there's already people that don't want to progress. If we don't progress, how are we going to have a society, right? This is a desperate measure to make sure that, you know, the growing amount of people that just don't give a shit and just want to leech goes down, or stays at a certain number. I thought you were against government control. I thought you weren't a big fan of the government. I thought you didn't like the government. I don't like the government, but it is what it is, you know. It is what it is, right? If we have so much government, if there's so much government power and so much money at their disposal that they're not using, why not give it a purpose? Right? I mean, they can use our taxpayer money that's stolen from us for something, right? This is money being taken from us. What are we going to use it for? How about we help society? No, we can't do that. Well, what are we going to use it for? War and ideology and agenda pushing. Really? So, that's really about it. I can't end this video because I'm in the middle of driving right now, so. What else can I say about this? What else can I say about this? I don't know. I can't really think of any issues that would arise from this. You know? Can't think of any kind of issues. Okay, well, part-time, but how many days are we supposed to work? Well, I don't know. Let's say minimum 1 day a week. Minimum. And that's not even supposed to happen. This is like if this is like just to avoid penalties 1 day a week. And if it's not enough for the company that you're working for, I guess then you're gonna have to work more days. You know? If you're not being productive enough, if you are not actively trying to be a decent enough employee, you know, if you're not accomplishing what our taxpayer dollars are going towards, then there's going to be penalties, right? So if 1 day a week is not enough, I guess you're going to have to work another day. And you can choose what day: Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? I mean, there's the leniency again, you know? How many days? What days? How many hours? You know, it's just the same thing for the hours. If it's not enough, you're gonna have to work more. And if it's too much, then you know, you can do the opposite. You know? But I can't imagine that if people are trying to find a job and they're struggling and they're trying to survive, that they would not want as many hours as they can get. So, and you know, this isn't supposed to be like, okay, well, now you have a job, now we're gonna help you move out and you're not supposed to live with your parents anymore. No, that's not how this is gonna work. You can still live with your parents. I mean, whatever, you know, who cares? Who cares? As long as you're following the rules. As long as you're following the rules. Right? So that's really about it. I can't think of anything else. I can't end the video right now because I'm in the middle of driving.